Shove up that deck, get off my neck. Content strike, ain't got me a check. Rope a dope song, oh ha ha. Jerry was so mad, ain't got no money, ain't got no honey. Just really plain sad. Jerry, are you okay? Are you okay, Jerry? S-T-D, touchdown, had to let you go. Over leverage with compliance and shame. Touch yourself, cause you got no game. Let's say, why are you so mad? Oh, ha ha. Jerry, why so mad? Ain't got no money, ain't got no honey. Just really plain sad. Jerry, are you okay? Are you okay, Jerry? Touchdown, had to let you go. Over leverage with compliance and shame. Touch yourself, cause you got no game. Then say, why are you so mad? Oh, 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 ha, oh. Jerry, why so mad? Ain't got no money, ain't got no honey. Just really plain sad. Jerry, are you okay? Are you okay, Jerry? Jerry, why so mad? Ain't got no money, ain't got no honey. Just really plain sad. Jerry, are you okay? Are you okay, Jerry? S-T-D, touchdown, had to let you go. Over leverage with compliance and shame. Touch yourself, cause you got no game. Let's say, why are you so mad? Oh, ha ha. Jerry, why so mad? Ain't got no money, ain't got no honey. Just really plain sad. Jerry, are you okay? Are you okay, Jerry? Jerry, why so mad? Ain't got no money, ain't got no honey. Just really plain sad. Jerry, are you okay? Are you okay, Jerry? Jerry, why so mad? Ain't got no money, ain't got no honey. Just really plain sad. Jerry, are you okay? Are you okay, Jerry?
Living life on the open road, ain't got no home, just a van for mine. Long beard hanging down, taking AMC, it's all about the line. No ties, no suit and tie, just dark circles round these tired eyes. Sipping coffee, crunching numbers, technically analyzing. Windows roll down, the wind in my head, I embrace the grit and grind. There's my castle, lose my kingdom, no place else I wanna be. AMC ticker keeps on rolling, stock charts and patterns unfolding. Fear and greed, bulls and bears, it's a wild ride, I'm all in stride. Oh, ticker in my sights, AMC's my fight. Bed, living, crunching numbers all night, yeah. Fan of the beer, tinker analyst, chasing dreams in the moonlight. No fancy office, just the open road. This is my life, alright.
Good evening, you filthy apes. Welcome to AMC with KC, where we buy, we hold, and we screw those edgies. Screw them! That's right. This is where we like to fling poo and eat crayons for breakfast. Maybe dinner too. Rock strong. I'm tired, guys. I'm so tired. But I'm here. I'm here. It's good to see you guys. Numbers? Let's see here. We're going to talk about the title. Somebody's trying to manipulate apes into being fooled. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this. Maybe some of you guys haven't even heard of this. You have no idea. And you're like, what the heck? What are you talking about? So Buck. Let's talk about Buck for a second. Buck is a promotional figure, kind of like Jack from Jack in the Box. Buck is Buck the Bunny for GameStop. And there's been a lot of talk about some profiles on Twitter that have come back to life or maybe have suggested that something was going to happen this week. And there's been a lot of emphasis placed on something specifically happening this week. And I just want to mention to you guys that as somebody who works for GameStop, I can tell you that I can see that GameStop is definitely employing Buck the Bunny to be a part of what it is that they're doing in release of part of their Black Friday special offers that they had that started this week. That has nothing to do with price movement of GME. Absolutely zero to do with it. And in fact, everything in that I am seeing for this week leads me to believe that this is going to be a down period of time for GME and AMC for probably about another trading week. Five or so trading days at least. So I think what's happening right now, and I'm not sure where this is stemming from, and I'm not sure if it's just overzealous people who are trying to jump on or latch on to something that just isn't there, that doesn't exist, that has no meaning whatsoever to stock price. And I'm not sure. I feel like some of the entities that I see pushing this are entities that I look to determine whether or not it's something that's being pushed by shills. I feel like this is very heavily shill ran. I feel like it's a campaign to try and get or fool investors into buying more options this week. And if institutions are really, really short on cash flow and they know that they can drop price this week, this would be a great time to try and fool people to buying into short-term call contracts. Please, 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 please. Whenever you see something that you do not recognize, we have been here for 4 years, guys, 4 years. When you see something that you don't recognize, question it. Question the motives behind it. Question the people who are pushing it. Don't just latch on to just any old thing that you find and say, oh, this is it. This is going to be the thing. This is it. It's going to happen. It's not it. This is not it. Everything that has been here the entire time. But Buck is a promotional device for GameStop to push a product. That's it. That's all it is. There's nothing else there. Now, there might be something more to Buck down the road. I'm not saying there's not. But for now, it has nothing to do with price movement. Zero. So, let's see. Let's move on to some numbers and take a look and see what we got going on. Rugged says, did anyone actually hear about this Buck thing before now? So, and that's something that I kind of mentioned to some other people too. I said, I think you might be in a bubble because it's actually, it's all over Twitter. If you're not on Twitter, if you haven't seen it on Twitter, then you're just not on Twitter. I can tell you're not on Twitter if you haven't seen this, because I know I'm getting hit up by people on Twitter, even from our community of AMC investors. So if you're not on Twitter, you're not seeing it. But I guarantee you that if you're on, more than likely if you're on Reddit and anything having to do with GME and Reddit, or if you're on Twitter at all, you're probably seeing this Buck the Bunny. So, just throwing that out there, there's nothing I see that makes me suspect there's going to be some kind of massive price run this week at all. Nothing. In fact, just the opposite. I'll come over to our T35 status and where we're at on that. We are getting very, very close to the end of one of the T35 status, one of the T35 timelines, but that's not what the targets are really more important than the actual finish of the timeline. And so there's not really anything coming up in any time near future. In fact, oftentimes when we see the controller and the rocket here is usually when we see price moving down a little bit. the most. Historically, you can go back and you look at other rockets that are on the page here, and those are during periods of time where you see price moving down during those periods of time. So those might be actually better times to be buying into call contracts as price is going down. Now, I do want to point out here that there's a very cyclical price movement that's been happening on GME over the last, we'll say 2.5 months, maybe even, we'll call it 2.5 months, maybe 3 months. Maybe the first week or so of trading and the last week of trading of each month, there tends to be some increase in price movement, like highs. So you had a high maybe around here on price movement on this month back in August. And towards the end of the month, you had another peak. And then the beginning portion of September, there was a spike up. The later portion of September, there was a spike up. The beginning portion of October, a spike up. At the later portion of October, a spike up. At the beginning portion of November. And I think this is the period of time where we're going to see price dropping down a little bit. And then the spike up in the later portion of November, maybe around like November 29th. Which is going to be way later. In fact, I would imagine that would actually probably be the week where we have Thanksgiving, because if I'm not mistaken, Thanksgiving is going to be the 28th. Yeah, I think it's the 28th. And I think we have a holiday coming up, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and so there may be a 3-day weekend in here. And oftentimes we do see price running during those periods of time near 3-day weekends. Let me just check it and see real quick here what the date is. Let's see here. We have trading Thanksgiving Day. We have the 28th off. Each market will close early at 1 p.m., 1:15 p.m. for eligible options on Friday, November 29th. So there's only going to be a partial traded day on Friday, but the 28th will be a day off. So it's not really a 3-day weekend. It's more like a 2.5 day plus a day before. So I kind of would expect to see more of a price movement upwards in the later half of November. And if you notice, oftentimes I feel like some of the new positions that DF, we'll say Roaring Kitty. Roaring Kitty has been making starts at around the OK sign and the handshake sign and end on the Sly Kitty day to target the target date, which means that you start seeing that price movement upwards going into the later half of the month, and also into the first half of the month, like we've seen over so many months, 3 or 4 months now in a row, where this has been happening. So that's what I'd be watching for. And in fact, everything that I see in regards to GME price movement, I see nothing that tells me that there's any kind of positive movement in GME's price action at all. Like there's nothing here that tells me that there's any kind of positive momentum showing up. So especially over the last like 2 trading days, right? Because if you take a look at Ichimoto on a 1-hour time interval, you could see that 2 trading days ago, the lagging line, actually 3 trading days ago, the lagging line hit into the price line, which was your signal that there was going to be downwards momentum in price. And sure enough, that momentum hit, and it has now finally dropped below the cloud, the green cloud. There is red cloud forming ahead as early as tomorrow, meaning price could start moving back upwards as early as tomorrow. If it were for GME to start moving back up, we would probably need to see price breaking somewhere right around $27, $27.50 would probably be the price that it would need to close at in order to get some additional buying pressure, which is about $1 higher than where it's at right now at $26.44, where it ended today. On a 4-hour chart, lagging line has hit, and this is the part here that's the problem, is now the 4-hour chart doesn't look very good either. It's now, the lagging line is hitting the price line. Price has dropped down to the base. The only other sell signal that would show up here is price dropping below the base, which is at about $26.15. So I'm actually anticipating this hitting. Once you see GME hit $26.15, it's dropping. And it's going to drop probably below 25. very easily. We'll take a look at max pain here in just a few minutes when we do numbers, but I can almost guarantee you that max pain is going to be somewhere around that like $23, $24 price range. So that 25 is certainly a possibility. And we're starting to see price dropping now and volumes falling off. That's actually bullish for the future if we continue to see falling volume and falling price. But as of right now, this does not look like a buy signal to me for GME. So I'm not anticipating to see any kind of price movement upwards in the near future. And every single morning, I wake up to look to see what that pre-market volume looks like in the mornings, and it just keeps getting lower and lower and lower. So no signs of any kind of increasing pre-market volume there. Same kind of thing goes for AMC as well. We broke below the green cloud as of 2 days ago. And we have red cloud ahead, which means we could see as early as tomorrow morning, we could start seeing price movement back upwards again. But, I mean, we'll have to wait and see when it's going to start moving that direction and see it break past. I imagine max pain's 450. So imagine a lot of $4 puts are going to want to close out before the end of this week is over. So the closer they can get to that $4 price point, the better. There might be a lot of buying pressure in here that might become some resistance on continuing to move price down. We'll take a look and see, because I do see buying pressure here on the Vortex indicator. Let's see. What else do I see? Yep, there's buying strength. There's certainly buying strength happening right now, so it could turn around and start heading the other direction here. Let's take a look at the 4-hour real quick on this on the Ichimoto. Lagging line is all over price line. Conversions crossed under base, and we've crossed underneath the red cloud, which is actually kind of very bearish to see us dropping below a red cloud. And it's actually not. It's quite a while out before we would even start to see a red cloud starting to form for the future. So this chart right here is actually really nasty looking on the 4-hour chart. This is suggesting to me that we may even see a double bottom down here around 417. That's a very, very strong possibility in our future. That's what I see. And let's move on. Let's do some numbers. I'm going to take you guys over to the other page. I'm not going to be able to see what it is you guys are saying, so hold those personal thoughts, comments, questions, or concerns until you see the big tramp back up on the screen again. Let's take a look and see what we got going on for all these numbers here for the last day. And I see I have one of my charts messed up here. Give me 1 second. There we go. Price prediction tally marks. These are going to be way off. Everybody's tied for this week, I think. 436. Let me see who had. I don't think anybody had 436 for a price prediction today. Let's see here. No, nobody had 436. So we're starting out the week all across the board. We're doing good. Nana won last week. Congratulations to Nana. Give her a round of applause. Let me change all these numbers real quick here. Most of us were predicting prices. I think the lowest person that had a price prediction for the day today was, let's see, who was lowest? Lowest was Apex at 448. Highest was Nana at 456. All right, short exempt volume. What's it been looking like lately? Let's see here. Short exempt volume for GME from yesterday was 116,000 shares, 76,000 the day before, and 277 the day before that. So 116. Utilization still hitting about that 30%. When last time I talked to you guys on, I guess it was Wednesday last week, it was 30.66%. I'm seeing 30.09 now, so it's down a little bit. Not too much. Day-over-day price change, we were down 2.68% for the day today. Max Payne, let's check it out. Let's see what we had. I think Max Payne is probably still in that 450 range here. Max Payne for the day today was at $4.50. Next week is $4, and the week after that is $4.50. So the market is kind of signaling that $4 price range going into next week. So that's a very strong possibility. We see that drop down to this $4.15, $4.17 range like I was suspecting. Taking a look at GME, Max Payne was $23 last week. This week, Max Payne is currently at $24. So that number that I gave you just a little bit ago sure makes a lot of sense. Max Payne for next week on GME is at 22, and the week after that is at 23. Institutional owner. Actually, let's take a look at exchange traded volume. Exchange traded volume for the day today on the AMC. On a normal end of a day, I would expect to see about 64% going through off exchange and EDGX combined. We had 58.2% going through off exchange. EDGX was at 7.72 for combined total 65.92%, or about 1.92% more than what I had seen from the past. So it's a little elevated, not too much. CHX volume for the day today was 941 shares. LTSE was 21,261 shares. Those were a little bit elevated. Let's see, on GME, exchange traded volume for the day today came in at 300 shares for CHX. LTSE was 80,247 shares. That is a massive number for LTSE. Big numbers. Shares borrowed through IBKR. Looks like there was quite a few shares borrowed. Let me just check and see here how much. Looks like 1.6 million shares were borrowed today on AMC. Fees were at 0.61% and a rebate of 3.97 on GME. Since 2045 yesterday, the total amount of shares borrowed was $500,000 shares. Fees are at 0.37 and a rebate of 4.21. Taking a look at options. Highest amount of call volume so far for this week on AMC is at a strike of $4.50. That's down 50 cents from where it was last week. At 4.5, we have 15.1 thousand contracts in volume. And at the highest amount of put volume is also at 4.5, which means that market is targeting 425 to 475 by the end of the week. There's currently 1.7 thousand contracts in puts and in open interest. I'm sorry, 10.6 thousand contracts. Largest amount of, and I got the calls wrong too, my bad. Highest amount of calls were at a $5. I was looking at today's volume and not the open interest. So the highest amount of call volume was at $5, and there was 24.3 thousand contracts. So the market is targeting $4.50 to $5 by the end of the week. I messed that up. Sorry about that. Taking a look at next week and the week after, we'll just document those numbers real quickly. Options on GME. Looks like the highest amount of call volume in open interest, and it's kind of far off from where, I'm not going to count the 30s, because that's so far off of where the actual price is being traded. I'd say the highest amount of call volume in open interest is going to be at a $27 strike. Highest amount of put volume is at 24. So it looks like the market's kind of trying to target 25.5-ish, which is still $1.50 more than the max pain. Let's take a look at all the open interest here on the books for this week and the next 2 weeks after. Alrighty. I'm going to take you guys over the other screen and move a couple screens around. We'll take a look at the rest of the data. All right, starting with Ortex. Ortex reported 2.35 million shares returned today. That's going to drop that estimated short share interest of the free float to 14.01%. The cost to borrow mins at 1.05. The average is 1.09 and the max is 1.27. Let's take a look at what some of these numbers look like on the big screen here. Utilization. Day over day is kind of starting to trend upwards a little bit, not too much. Previously, it was 29.78 and went back up to 30.09 from Friday. And then from Friday's numbers, the on-loan amount dipped slightly from 52.07 million shares on loan to 51.5 million shares. That usually means that the estimated short share interest of the free float is going to drop. And in this particular case, it did from 14.15 to 14.13. And the on-loan average age per day, I mean, they didn't take on any new loans, so unless they were closing out really old loans, should be heading up. And it did. From 45.95 days to 46.58. This is 2 days in a row. All right, we got it, guys. 2 days in a row of upwards momentum on the on-loan average age per day after having several days of dipping momentum on this as an indicator. This is when you would set the 15-day trading timer for a significant price move upwards, starting from November 13th. So if I look at that November 13th, that means that 15 trading days from then would be essentially around the 4th. And actually, we have the holiday too for Thanksgiving, so it would really be like somewhere between now and the 5th of December. We should see a pretty big price increase coming. Security lending volume day over day shrank from 7.08 million shares to 2.31. On GameStop, 903,000 shares having been borrowed today. That's going to raise the estimated short share interest of the free float to 8.6%. The cost to borrow mins at 0.54. Average is 0.79 and max is 1.27. Utilization day over day. Dropping, still continuing to drop, and it dropped from 28.91 to 28.45. The on-loan amount also continuing to dip from 45.84 days or million shares to 44.99 million shares. The estimated short share interest of the free float will drop as a result, and that is down from 8.59% to 8.54, and the on-loan average age per day should be heading up. Still trending upwards. Went from 45.84 days to 61.11 days. So really old positions open right now. Security lending volume day over day dropping a little bit from 4.94 million shares to 3.96. SSR trigger price for the day-to-day would have been $4.03. Obviously, that did not hit. Here's your open calls and puts that are in the money versus out of the money. You have 77.7 thousand contracts that were out of the money in calls, 2.2 thousand contracts that were in the money, 6.1 thousand contracts are out of the money on puts versus 14.4 thousand contracts that are in the money. Still some light weeks on option contracts for the next 3 weeks here. Still looking pretty light. GME's SSR trigger price today was $23.93. Obviously did not trigger. There was 119.2 thousand contracts out of the money in the calls versus, you know what? This is not updated. Give me a second. I got to update this screen. My bad. SSR trigger price today was $23.93. There was 77,000 contracts out of the money in the calls versus 20.5 thousand contracts that were in the money. 19.3 thousand contracts were out of the money in the puts versus 2.7 thousand contracts that were in the money. One of the things that GME is going to struggle with here on price movement is there's a lot of call options that are risking being out of the money as price starts to drop a little. And if those start closing, then you'll see price drop even more significantly. So that's going to be something to watch out for, because it's more than likely going to end up being the case if price continues to fall. Orders by Fidelity customers. AMC and GME are the only two I'm looking for on this list. Neither of which are on there. VIX 15.57. And that is, it was starting to trend back up towards the end of last week. But it looks like it's broken that trend and is now starting to go back down again. Last time I was discussing MMRI with you guys was last Wednesday. It was 296.12. Currently, MMRI is at 291.12. So a little bit less risk in the marketplace. The spread between the 2-year and 10-year bond yields previously was 0.166 last week when I looked at it last with you guys. And this week it is currently at 0.134. VIX futures are suggesting 1598, which is pretty close to where it ended up at, so not a whole lot of change there. And in the aftermarket hours, the Nikkei is down 0.2, Hang Seng's down 0.25, and the Nifty 50 is down 0.36. Markets don't have a whole lot of movement right now in the aftermarket hours. It's very slightly down. NASDAQ was up 0.6, Dow Jones up, down 0.13, and the SP 500 is up 0.39. I think those numbers are just in the aftermarket hours. I don't think that includes the day. By the end of the day, there was a little more decliners than there was advancers. 3,224 decliners to 3,091 advancers. Sectors, there was only one down sector today, and that was industrials. Everything else shows up. Of the Mag 7, there was 2 stocks that closed down. Nvidia and Amazon. Financial institutions, looks like for the day it was kind of mixed, but it seems like there's a little bit more green than red on some of these prices. Gold is up 0.12. Let's get rid of Ichimoto here. Trending up. Silver's up 0.14, trending up. Ethereum Classic is up 0.24 and is trending up. US dollar is down 0.07 and consolidating at 106. I was taking a look at this over the weekend a little bit on this on the dollar, and it really is. I mean, it's really kind of taken off quite a bit and hit a top of 107.06. Remember, when the dollar goes up, the market's supposed to go down, and we haven't been seeing that. And ever since it broke solidly past 104, I mean, it has really just started taking off in here, and you can see it tested 106.78, which was a significant level of resistance that I've had drawn up on my board here for quite some time. if it breaks past that 106.78 significantly and starts to really take off into that like 108 range, I don't even know if our market can continue to hold on some of the value that's there. I feel like that US dollar running up like that's really going to cause the market to come down quite a bit. Oil currently is trending down. Day over day it was slightly up. Mortgage-backed securities were up anywhere from 0.05 to 0.07 throughout the day today, and seem to have gapped down in the aftermarket hours. SPY kind of consolidating in the aftermarket hours. Did have a little bit of a run up in the beginning portion of the day, and then kind of cooled off and settled on closing out up 0.41. IWM closed today up 0.2. Most of that was gains from the aftermarket hours. Actually, I guess it was pre-market hours of this morning, and then just a lot of volatility throughout the day, and actually kind of closing out the day lower than where the opening price was in the aftermarket hours consolidation. IWN up 0.13 for the day today, at 0.58 in the aftermarket, and getting a little bit of a jump here. Tesla is closing 5.62% up for the day today. And that must have come from, a gap up that happened in the pre-market of the early this morning. Because the actual closing price for the day was lower than where it opened. Amazon, getting some volatility towards the end of aftermarket hours today, but was down 0.45 for the close. Cinemark was up 0.47. Overall, it looks like consolidation. Doge is down 0.09 and appears to be consolidating. Bitcoin is up 0.55. Maybe a slight trend down on that currently. No, that's consolidation. GME today closed down 0.56. In case you're wondering what that blue mark is at 2666, that was a significant number that needed to be hit for, I believe, the cup and handle that was being formed on GME more recently. I think it's this right here. Where is it? Man, I've been having some serious problems with charting on Webull lately. I'm not sure why. But this is, I think this is the cup and handle right here. So it was basically this portion of price movement, followed by the downwards cup portion right here, and then the blue line at 2666 was where price was supposed to get to. And you can see it's kind of stabilizing at 2666. The interesting thing about this, though, is that it's forming a larger cup now from here. And if the pullback on this makes it back down to this like 2415 range, which is what I just got done telling you guys that I felt price was going to start heading down to, is like $24, that's going to be the next handle. So you get a larger cup and handle that's forming that could take off, and if that hits, 3309 is going to be the top on this next run up. So there's some interesting things happening here, but it's unfolding a lot slower than everybody thinks that it should be, which I'm pretty sure would replicate 2020. HYMC closed down 0.41 for the day today. Definitely was trending down, and up 0.41 in the aftermarket hours, which is interesting. NCMI down today, or up today, 2.26, down 1.92 in the aftermarket hours on low volume. But it was certainly trending up throughout the day today. Hood was up 8.29%, just kept on trending upwards throughout the day. Finished in some consolidation in the aftermarket hours. And AMC was down 2.68% for the day, and most of that drop for the day today was in the beginning portions of this morning. And there was super low volume going into today on the pre-market. I don't know if you guys were watching it or not, but it was definitely super low volume this morning when I woke up and looked at it. On a inflow versus outflow for the day today, we had approximately $900,000 more inflow than outflow. 8.12 million shares traded for the day as super low volume. On a 4-hour time interval, there's more selling pressure than buying pressure than RSI 40.94, which is below average. On a 1-hour time interval, more selling pressure than buying pressure than RSI 38.17, which is below average. On a 30-minute time interval, more selling pressure than buying pressure than RSI 41.32, which is below average. And on a 5-minute time interval, more selling pressure than buying pressure than RSI 43.93, which is slightly below average. And with that, I will head over to the back of the Big Tramp, and we can talk about what other news you guys want to talk about here. Let me head on over. And they're off. Alrighty. I can see what it is you guys are saying again. Richard says the beard is still on nice. It is. No change. I'm really happy that Easter B says fake beard. Definitely not a fake beard. I'm definitely happy that the hospital has been okay with me having this beard. It's very nice. El Doge, good to see you this evening. Demi, good evening. Pro Jeweler, yeah, Casey After Dark. Yes, it is. Oh, we've got Mallier, Pirateborn, and Tom S. in the back of the Big Tramp this evening. Good evening to you. Only Pirateborn has his headphones where he can hear. What's going on, bud?
How you doing, man?
Good. I'm doing all right.
Hey, I stumbled on something you might find interesting. It's kind of linked to your old career. You know, we've been recently paying a little bit of attention to this SMCI, super microcomputers, and all that, but there's no need to go over all of it. I'm sure everyone's up to speed. And then as our theory, or at least my theory, is that it's connected to NVIDIA. But I think you might find it interesting, Casey, that they had some breaking news today that let me bring up this. I want to make sure I get her title correct. I don't want to misspeak here. The Chief Accounting Officer, Darla Smith, for AMD to resign immediately. Yeah. Resigning effective immediately. No, so
AMD or NVIDIA?
Something's up with the chip. Something's up with the chip space, man.
Are you sure AMD. That wasn't NVIDIA? I thought it was NVIDIA.
No. AMD, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's with all this accounting in the chips? Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man.
Just interesting. Like I said, I didn't try to. I'm not trying to do a gotcha moment or catch you off guard or anything like that. I just thought you'd find it interesting.
One of the things that I thought was really kind of interesting
with the recent events with the SMCI and all that, I just thought it was interesting.
One of the things I always thought was kind of weird was during COVID. I don't know if you remember this or not, but during COVID, the government actually set aside money and for American-owned, like Intel, Apple. Mm-hmm. They got these like big, huge payouts.
CHIPS Act.
Yeah, the CHIPS Act, exactly. And it really kind of bothered me a little bit because I was like, what do they need money for? It's like one of those things like, I was like, you can't sit there and honestly tell me that you think that out of all the people in the United States that these computer chip making plants need money. I'm like, that doesn't sound realistic.
Corporate welfare.
Yeah. So I just thought that was I always thought that was kind of interesting, and it made me wonder, like, are they not doing as well as they're suggesting they are? Or I don't know. And here's the other part too. SMCI, or not SMCI, but oh gosh darn it, TSMC. So ever since I got in the industry in 1998, working for Hyundai, which later became Hynix, I always wanted to work for Intel. Intel was like my end goal. Like I was like, that's where I'm going to end my career. I want to end my career at Intel. I'll do my. I think they after 10 years you get a sabbatical, and I kind of thought like, or maybe it's not 10 years, maybe it's 5 years. Yeah, every 5 years you get a sabbatical, and so I was going to do 2 5-year terms, get 2 sabbaticals, and end my career on my second sabbatical. That was like my game plan from when I was in my early 20s. And Intel was kind of one of those companies where when you looked at it, it was something that I felt was one of those companies that would never, ever not be on the top anymore. And so now to see TSMC on the top is shocking to me. It's absolutely shocking. Because it's not an American company, number one. So, but yeah. And and it just kind of makes me wonder, like if the government feels strongly enough that they needed to give donations to companies like Intel and Apple, maybe they're not doing as well as they're suggesting they're doing. Projuler says, "Is the beard mesmerizing for the
one
patients?"
One thing certain, their accounting seems to be problematic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, who would have thought?
Well, I don't work for the companies anymore, but those Korean companies, the one that I worked for way back in the very beginning, Hyundai, they were caught for flooding the market to be able to kick out their competitors. So they flooded the market and dropped the price of DRAM. And it forced a bunch of other companies to have to shut down. And then they end up getting fined by the U.S. for, I forget, racketeering, or I don't remember what they fined them really heavily for something, but they really just saw that as like a price of doing business, very much like hedge funds see, breaking laws for naked short selling. It's just a price of business because the fine is hardly anything in comparison to not having any competitors. So, they took the fines and then they said thanks and then walked away the sheer winners as they had no competitors for the pricing of their computer chips anymore because they were all out of business. So,
well, it's not too dissimilar. It's not too dissimilar to what the oil industry does to fracking. Fracking is only profitable if oil stays above a certain threshold. So your OPEC and all your other heavy hitters, they'll ramp up production, make sure that they flood the market with oil, it drives the price down. The fracking companies shut down, and then they can move the price of oil back up.
Yeah. And so maybe some of the reasons that the computer chip is not doing so well is because there's a lot of competitors that are maybe they're dropping prices to where it's like hard to compete. It's possible. I don't know. It's weird to be removed from the industry for like 3 years. So much has changed in 3 years. It's hard to imagine how much has changed in that short time that I've been out. Projuler says, "Is the beard mesmerizing for the patients?" I don't know, but I seem to get smiles. I get a lot of smiles. I walk into the room and people immediately smile at me. Maybe it's just because I'm funny looking. I don't know what it is, but they smile, and I try to give them my best smile I can back. And I'm just training, so a lot of the time I'm not actually responsible for their care at that moment. So they're smiling at me, and I'm smiling back, but the person talking to them is my trainer, which is weird. But the training's going good. Progressing. One of the things that I wanted to say about that too, I'm trying to think how the best way to say this is. I don't mean to be disparaging, That's not what my intentions are behind this comment. But do you know how, like, when you go to work for a company and you see it from the inside and it's different than what you imagined? And it's just like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to say the luster is lost, but it's just kind of, it just kind of, you find things are different than what you thought. And so that, I would say that's definitely the case for me with the hospital, and actually for GME too. It was the same thing for GME as well. But it doesn't mean that I don't enjoy it. It's just that it's just, you know, I don't know. It's like finding out that your superhero is not really a superhero, but they're really just normal like everybody else. Everybody thinks they've got a superhero power, but they're just normal. Tom D says, "Are you passing out butt drugs?" No, I am not. I don't think
Not
I
yet,
am.
but he's
Not
working
yet.
up to it.
Yeah, that's right. Give me a chance. I'll get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Audio Tits says, working in the food industry ruins the magic of going out to eat sometimes. Well, it's not that the honeymoon's over, Carlton Jones. It's not that. It's just, see, I didn't want this to come across as being negative. I don't want to be negative in this comment. There's still amazing things about what it is that I'm doing and learning, and the excitement's still there and all that kind of stuff. It's just that, I don't know how to say it without sounding negative. I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's super interesting. I'm learning so much stuff. But it's just different. It's just not what I thought. Projuler says the other side of the counter is a different perspective. Yeah, that's it. It's just a different perspective. That's a great way of putting it, Projuler. Thank you. I'm just getting to see things from the other side of the counter. And it's a different perspective, and it's interesting, and it's different, and it's not what I kind of thought it was going to be, but it's okay. That's okay. Thornblade says, all I heard was Jim Carrey. I like it a lot. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I imagine. This is how I imagine it to be. I imagine that a nurse goes through nursing school and does all these, like, learns about medicines, learns about like how to apply medicine, learns how, about like different aspects of patients that, and they're going in there going like, I am going to get to help people and change their lives and make it all for the better, and then they're cleaning up poop, like, 5 days a week. And they go like,
You find out you're just a tiny little gear in a big machine.
and it's like, I mean, and I'm not saying I actually don't do that. That's not my job. I don't do anything like that whatsoever. I'm just saying I have heard that before from nurses. Not even here at this hospital, but I've heard that before about nurses, that they find out that the job it's kind of like being a pilot too, right? Like I bet you Hayden could probably confirm this to be true. Is that you probably go into it thinking, I'm gonna be a pilot. And then you get to go doing it, and you realize, I've had plenty of pilots tell me in the past that it's just basically a glorified bus driver. And when you hear somebody say it from that perspective, you go like, it sounds like you lose like all the luster of being an actual pilot. But the thing is that I guarantee you that Hayden would sit there and also say that it's probably one of the most rewarding jobs that he could possibly do, and he can't probably imagine doing anything else either. So there's that, and you have to remember that.
Well, a lot of it is shaped by television, the invention of television and entertainment. It gives people a skewed it gives people an impression of what situations are like that aren't necessarily accurate. You know, they glamorize all the dramatic parts,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so real life isn't like that. So
Right.
unfortunately, those who grew up on television and grew up on all that entertainment, we've shaped our expectations are built around that. That's all we've known. And so if you approach a career in one of those, if you approach a job in one of those career fields that you think that you know what it's about and it's based on television shows or movies, you'll find that in real life it's not quite the same.
Yeah. Right.
Hello, Casey.
Hi, Manjit. How's it going?
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing very good. Thank you.
How's the new job?
Like I
having
said,
fun?
I'm liking it. I like it a lot. It's a very challenging. You know what I love the most about it is that I'm learning something new. That's
What are you doing there at
super
the
rewarding.
hospital?
So
What job are you doing
I
at
don't
the hospital?
I don't know. I don't know if I should how much I should say or what I should. I don't know what if.
Like, what's your title?
Yeah, that's why I'm
Like,
saying.
what do
That's
you?
why I don't know. I don't know if I should give that away though. I don't know if I should give that out. Let's just say
Oh,
this. Let's just say this. You ever go to a hospital and have you ever had a CAT scan before?
yes.
Okay. So you know how there's somebody who picks you up normally, and then they give you the IV, and then they take you over and deliver you to the CAT scan tech, and then the tech does your scan.
Yeah.
I'm the guy that delivers you.
Okay.
Yeah,
How was that for
I'm a
you?
delivery driver for bodies.
Like,
Yeah.
I was, first I thought that you was only doing the GameStop job, but then I
No,
heard you
yeah.
also doing the hospital job, and I was like, but that's not his field. What the hell made him go do that?
Well, it was because
Uh,
I wanted to stay away from engineering, because an engineering
yeah.
job would require me to put in 2 or 3 years for them to feel like they got their money's worth. And
Yeah.
if I want to leave after a year and feel like I can just walk up and walk away from it, I would feel like I couldn't do that in an engineering position. But this, I feel like I probably could.
You
So
could.
that's
Yeah.
probably the main reason why I decided that I wanted to do it. Plus, I also wanted to do something that I felt would be rewarding
Yeah.
as a job. So I needed
Yeah.
something that was out of
I
my
think
field.
I think lots of us are doing that. Like, I have a friend who was in accounting like me, and she suddenly have started to do the course for becoming a monitor tech. And I'm like, why? She's like, well, that way I can work the hours I want to work instead of like 9 to 5 hours kind of thing. In accounting we have to do that, but she's like, no, that way I can just go and work, and it's 32-hour shift. I don't have to work 40 hours. So lots of people changing, um, doing something more meaningful to them.
Hmm.
So I think what you're doing is good. I was just curious. I just being nosy as
Yeah.
usual.
I went ahead and said it. I'm a
I was,
radiology assistant. That's what I am. That's the actual title. Nana Ape says, but
yeah. Well,
you do change lives with your help and kindness, and that's true. Like I think
yeah.
about that, Nana, too. Is every time I go in and I'm in contact with somebody, I definitely I try to remember that before I walk into the room each time I have an interaction with somebody new, because I want to make sure that when they leave there that they're better off than they were when I first saw them. So that's my goal.
Yeah. Yeah, I just, those people are nice people though. You can talk to them when you are not sure what the hell you are doing there, like what kind of the test and stuff like that. So it's kind of like nice to talk to somebody
Hmm.
in that kind of situation.
And
I
GameStop's
was
kind of
like, I
interesting
said,
too.
"Hey,
I get to meet a lot of interesting people at GameStop, for sure.
that's nice. That's nice. That is nice. I was like, who is going to record the history? But then, there's other people who's recording your history for you, so that's okay.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah, I know.
I just hope I just hope when this thing pops or whenever it happens, then you won't be at the job. Then you'll be like, okay, I'm going to go do live stream.
I might be sick.
Don't
Who
tell me
knows?
that.
Who knows? Who knows?
I,
No, not
I
here. No, sick from the job. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like that will be all the time and all the work you have put in from last 3 and 4 years. Like it will be your reward time. You know what I mean? Like it will be the rewarding time. It will be your moment. So I was like, I am hoping he's not going to miss that whenever that happens. So yeah, that's okay. You can get sick that day. But I'm glad you're enjoying it. So I'm happy for you. Something different.
Yeah. I think it's really kind of neat to. I mean, the part that really kind of is exciting to me is the idea that I'm going to be doing IVs. I haven't actually done an IV yet. That's
Have you ever done an IV before?
no.
Do you know how to do an IV?
No.
Are they going to teach you how to
They're
do an
they're going
IV?
to teach me. Yes, they're going to teach me how to do it. And so it's really funny because some people are trying to push me more towards going to get that IV training faster than later. And the people like my trainer and my boss want that to be kind of gradual, like something I kind of just gradually fall into after I learn the
Yeah.
other things first. And so it's really kind of funny because I have two different factions of people who are trying to push for me to, get training in a certain order, and it's just kind of it's interesting to see how it's playing out.
I don't know if you can, like, I know that a lot of people will go, like, people who do IV, they also do, I think it's called phlebotomy, like people who draw your blood, whatever
Yeah.
you call them.
Mm-hmm.
So people will like go and get a training for that, and I think it's only like 10 days or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's called phlebotomy. I could be wrong. What the hell I know.
Yep.
But
Yep.
I
Drawing
don't
blood
know
is
how.
something else that I might have to do as well.
So you might want to do that.
Mhm.
Get your training for like phlebotomy. I think you have to give exam for that though. You have to take a test.
Probably.
Casey, if you don't mind giving me a lobotomy, I would mind.
I don't know. I think it's got I think it's called
I think it's
phlebotomy. You're running it.
It's
phlebotomy.
Yeah.
Phlebotomy.
Yeah. So but I think you have to take a test for that. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I think you have to.
Casey, you can if you time it properly, while those people are undressed and in their gowns and they're getting their CAT scan, you can rifle through their pockets and probably pick up some change. Get nobody's going to miss pocket change. You ought to be able to do pretty nice for yourself.
Stories. I have stories already, and I you don't know how bad I want to tell stories, but I can't. There's like some things I just can't say. So, but it's just, but I really have stories already that I can't wait to share with you guys later on down the road, maybe, because they're funny stories.
So Casey, you doing both full time? You're not doing full time, right?
No. I'm doing full time at the hospital, but I'm only doing part time at GameStop.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't imagine having two jobs. Like, okay, suddenly.
I have a feeling
too much work.
When everything is going the way it's supposed to be going, I'll probably be working like 55 to 60 hours a week.
Okay.
Yeah. Daxter says, as long as you don't have to draw urine samples. I don't have to do anything like that at all. Nope. That is not something I have to do. But I'll tell you what I do.
Samples.
I'll tell you what I do have to do. I have to deal with emergency room patients. So that's very, very interesting sometimes. It can be quite interesting.
When you learn how to do the IV or draw the blood, just make sure you know how to find the nerves, because like sometimes when we go, like for example, I'll give you I have to get blood tests done every 3 months because I'm diabetic. So they have to do that for me. And then one time I went to this person, and I think she was new. She couldn't find the vein to draw my blood on my arm. Mm-hmm. She put the needle in and she started twisting it, going left and right and all that. And by the time I was done, I had a big blue bruise.
Yep.
But then I have been with people who you don't barely know that it's done. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's that's very,
that
very true. I've seen that firsthand. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Good
I was
afternoon,
like,
everybody.
so
Howdy,
every
is that
time I
John?
would go, if I go to the same place, I would be like, no, I'll wait for the other person.
Yep, we got a
Who
bunch
was
of people here
that?
now. We got Captain Awesome, Food Dog, John, Real Rugged,
Hello.
Tom doesn't have his thing on. Trevor's in here, Yogi and Yucca are all here.
Isn't that nice?
It is.
We are a functional family.
Oh yeah.
Hello, Rugged.
Hello.
It's
Hey,
not same
everybody.
without you, Casey, every day. It's not same.
Well, I know it doesn't feel the same.
We
You know,
make
it was
I
a little funny when I first started up the live stream today. I got a little sentimental for a second. I was like, well, that's kind of weird. I haven't done that in a while. It felt
I didn't watch
sentimental.
the live stream. I didn't know you was live streaming today, so I didn't watch it. But in the morning, when you're up at like 7 o'clock when you do your live stream, and that's like I'm having my cup of tea, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna listen to Casey, and then suddenly it's you're not there.
Yeah.
So it's okay. As
Emotional,
long as
damn
when
it.
things happen, you come back.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. You never know.
Never know.
Jana, thank you very much. Driving. Jana says she's driving at work right now. How is that possible, Jana? Like you're supposed to work day shift. Why are you driving still?
Yeah, sure, everybody. Had a phone call.
No
Yeah,
problem.
it's me. Good afternoon, I said before. And the phone call came.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So what's the news? What's the latest news? Is anything else? Anything AMC or GME related stuff that's going on that you guys have been seeing, or what's any new news?
GameStop elected a new board director, I believe.
Yes, I saw
Let's
that.
see
I didn't
here.
like it either.
Yeah, they appointed Nat Turner to the board of directors.
Yeah, from point something or other. What did I see about that? I read about it, and the guy has links to a hedge fund.
Well, everybody's got a link to a hedge fund.
No. Like he's
A
directly
lot of people are calling it a bullish move, though.
Nate Turner.
Nat.
Like
So Nate without the E at the end.
really? That's his name?
Yeah.
Isn't that a woman,
That's
though?
his name. Chairman and CEO
Nat
of Collectors Holdings has
Nat
been appointed the
Turner.
company's board of directors.
Hold on a second here. Let me
Like-
just search.
How about that other doesn't relate to this person, but is it true Gary Gensler is going to resign?
I highly doubt that. He will probably be having his position expunged from him.
Oh.
Yeah, he's gathered a lot of hate over the last few years.
So it says here, Nat Turner
I
possibly.
think he already turned in his resignation effective today, I believe.
I haven't seen any news about that unless they're keeping it hush hush. Let's see here. Check my sources.
When I saw that, I was like, I wonder. I was like, maybe it's just a rumor, because everybody wanted him out anyhow.
No, he's just been
Here it is.
reported that he's unlikely to finish his term.
Nat Turner, who was just appointed to GameStop board of directors, serves on Collectors board with Stephen Cohen, who runs Point72 hedge fund with $35 billion in assets under management.
Mm-hmm. I think there's rumors that they're hedging their bets on GameStop's success. later down in the future.
You want to
But
hear
yeah,
something
there's been
strange?
rumors about Gary Gensler stepping down or resigning for like the last 4 years.
I'm going to tell you something I just looked up.
It was something. It's different this time, though. There's
Yeah,
going
I
to be a
said it was different
purge.
last time too, but if anything, he's just gonna have his position expunged.
You don't think Trump's going to go about the business of taking a broadsword to Washington D.C. bureaucracy?
That's
think-
sort of
you
what I
think-
meant when I said expunged.
That motherfucker back there is not real.
So, unfortunately for Gary Gensler, a sad part is that his wife had passed away, I think, with breast cancer in 2006. But I think his wife here looks like she was an artist. And she wrote an interesting series of book called Gamma Night. Gamma Night. Sounds kind of stockish. I don't know why, but anyway, I don't know. I think somebody who's gone through something like that would have been a little bit more, dare I say, sympathetic to other humans. You know, you go through something like that, you may feel a little more compassion for your, you may have a different perspective. Let me just put it that way. Anyways, that's I don't know where his head's at. Maybe there's more to it that we don't.
But anyways, to finish what I was taking at a glance here, if Gary Gensler, the only actual rumor is that he'll be stepping down sometime after Thanksgiving, leaving Trump to put in a possible 2 candidates, maybe even 3 candidates to kind of fight each other for the position. Regardless of who gets chosen, it's going to be a push for crypto. So keep a lot of your crypto watch lists up to date. It might be also the reason why we saw Bitcoin hit the all-time high of 90,000. Because if this turns out to be true and people are hedging their bets, that people are going to start just try to rally into the crypto market as much and as fast as possible. And then get out before the rug gets pulled away, because we always know how the crypto market works. Let me see if I can get a couple of names here. Now, here we go. The top two being Bob Stebbins and Jay Clayton. Possible third person would be either Brad Bondi, Paul Hastings, and Paul Atkins.
Yeah, the Trump administration put out 5 names today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Only
he's
3 of
done.
them are going to be able to get for this whole free-for-all for the position. But the man himself, Gary Gibbs, has got to leave first. We'll see what happens after Thanksgiving. Might leave his position and looks for a Black Friday sale for a new job.
It says here, somebody said here, pretty neat how Collectors owns PSA and Nat Turner is the CEO and chairman.
Now that's a keen observation. That's a good one.
Yeah. The same Nat Turner, who is the strategic partner of Steve Cohen's Point 72 and has been in bed with Steve's plot to corner the collectibles market. This feels a lot like an FTX partnership dumpster fire, but this time on on the board of directors. Trading is tough game, don't you think? Question mark. I don't know. Why would that be? Why would it be a dumpster fire?
Someone might know his history better than what we're looking at right now. I'm checking some back sources on the guy.
Cornering the card, collectible card market is. Look, so, I think I can say this. Having worked 1 week into, I don't know if you guys haven't seen some of the Black Friday sales at GME, then you are interested in getting games for your kids or something. And I'm not just saying this to try and promote it or anything, but they have some really good deals out right now. And the reason I'm saying this is because people have just been flying into the stores trying to buy Pokemon like crazy. I have never seen anything quite like it. I would venture to say that there are probably more people interested in buying cards right now than they are in games. It seems very heavily like that's the case. There's a lot of money to be made on card collecting. A lot.
Wow.
Well, yeah, there's a huge shift because this also, this all goes back to, a lot of game industry saying that gamers should be okay not owning a physical copy of the games that they're creating. Cards are completely different. There is no, there are a few digital card games, but none of them hold a candle to the amount of profit holding a physical card is.
Yeah, and here's the other part too: is GameStop's making money on selling them. They're making money on taking them in and sending them out for PSA grading, and then they're making money on reselling the item if the customer wants to do so.
Mm-hmm.
They are making money on 3 different avenues of one purchase that goes through their store.
Yeah.
It's a turntable of money just flowing in.
I was lucky enough to hold on to a couple of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I flipped them for $5,000 and was able to get it out of my parents' house and my down payment on my own apartment, and kept myself steady for a while.
It's crazy.
Pokemon cards,
dude. You don't even understand.
Yu-Gi-Oh cards, actually.
Yeah, It is absolutely nuts. I'm telling you, man, it's nuts. The amount of money some of these people are making on some of these cards is just ridiculous.
Now, do you all know that? Well, I shouldn't probably be saying this live on the air, but Pirate actually has a really extensive Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon card collection.
Yeah.
He does not.
Yeah.
He does not tell other people about it. He does not. Please don't be upset with me, Pirate.
You shouldn't be upset. I've done the same thing with Pokemon. So, like before, Pokemon changed the rules where they were cycling cards, so some cards wouldn't be legal in tournaments or usefulness anymore. I made $2,000 off of selling my collection, and that gave me a down payment on a car.
Did you PSA those things?
Rugged sell those Enchimaimas.
By hand, yes.
You did. So I'm kind of wondering, like, if there's a strategy as far as, like, so for instance, I have a lot of sports cards and stuff like that, and my father even left some really nice balls, signed ball, and wondering about, is there a strategy for bringing them in? Is it, bringing them into the store?
There is. Now, see,
quantity.
I kind of got lucky with the Pokemon. I got a little more professional with Yu-Gi-Oh! But with Pokemon, I had 2 binders full of cards, and I heard that, I didn't hear it until much later, that they're recycling the cards. Like, custom cards I've been collecting aren't going to be useful, so they're basically collector's items. And this guy that I worked with wanted to get his kid into cards, into Pokemon cards. I told him, hey man, I got 2 binders full. I priced them out. I'll sell them to you cheap right here and now for $2,000 instead of the 3 that they're actually worth, because I have to go through the selling on eBay and Wizards.com and everything. Because it was back in 2003, I believe.
Well,
and then they started cycling them out. The guy actually came back with the cards saying, hey man, can I have my money back? I'm like, sorry man, it's on you.
He wanted his money back? Are you for real?
Because they're not tournament legal. He wanted to get his kid into playing the cards.
Oh.
So they weren't allowed in the tournaments, like, I want to say 2 or 3 months later. And the guy I worked with, he brought the cards back. He's like, hey man, can I have my $2,000 back? I'm like, sorry man, it's already spent. I got a new down payment on this Dodge Neon of mine.
Wow. Okay. Now you couldn't take that whole binder, PSA all the cards be ridiculously expensive. You would only want to do it on cards that you knew had some value. Like,
Some
Right.
intrinsic value,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So, but that's what I guess what I'm wondering. Like,
And
I've
Yu-Gi-Oh!
got a,
So if I were to give any kind of idea on cards now, how they would be graded, of course you have to go with the first edition. There's a little serial barcode, the serial card number on the bottom right, because those were used for like old video games as well. Condition of the card as well, how quickly it was basically put in the sleeve. They actually test if the human hand has touched it, so that's why you guys, a lot of people who unbox them, they're wearing gloves.
wow.
And they put them in a sleeve, and then they put that sleeve into a bigger sleeve, and they put that sleeve into a glass case, depending on what they pull, in order to keep it fresh, like as if it was out of the pack for no more than 5 seconds.
Are there clean rooms at NIH or HHS in Maryland?
You could actually go to a jeweler.
Wow. Pro
Yes.
Jeweler does this.
Pro Jeweler knows.
I don't.
I think Pro Jeweler wouldn't. I think there is some sort of like clean room
Wow.
where they
Pro
they
Jeweler's
keep
like,
nice
Hazmat
condition.
suit on.
I haven't
stuff.
seen a clean room in 500 years.
Well,
Wow.
clean as in like there's no dust floating around, there's no debris. Kind of like when you put a new screen on your phone, you try to keep it as clean as possible and not let a speck of dust get under the screen protector where it bubbles.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the air quality has to be clean.
Jeez.
Is it kind of like your weekly change of underwear? Is that?
For you, Food Dog, probably your yearly.
Oh, I think that's a yearly. I didn't mean.
No, we've talked about that, about how many weeks we can go without changing our underwear. Remember that talk, KC? That was a good one.
Goodness, the stank.
No, we talked about how many
we
consecutive
gotta
days.
get this. We got to get this trending. We can't let this fucking Jay Clayton guy get back into the SEC, or you can tighten up your belts and wait another 4 years for a squeeze, because this guy is a hedge plant, and he was Trump's SEC director from last time. Hopefully, if you have any influence anywhere on Twitter, you might want to start putting that out there. This guy cannot get back in there.
Jay Clayton. Huh?
So, I
Jay
thought.
I mean,
Jay
I'm
Clayton
already
was-
seeing a good bit of disagreement with the choice of this guy. But let me see here.
Well, I
Well,
thought
what's happening right now is there's a civil war going on between the old guard of the Republican Party and the new MAGA movement. All your old swamp creatures, your lifetime politicians, the power brokers. I said this going into this election cycle, that it wasn't just Trump and the MAGA movement against the Democrats. It was against the whole machine. So what you're seeing is more evidence of that. The Trump wants to have his people in place, the Trump supporters, because in no small part because of what happened to him last time. He got elected and then they just gutted him. They walked around all the time behind his back and hamstrung him at every chance they had. This time he's going to purge. He's going to purge every single desk that he thinks isn't 100% loyal to him.
If
And
not
so what
all
you
of them,
have,
which
is him. He's appointing people that he feels, or that someone that he's designated to act as his stand-in, is selecting people that they're sure are loyal to him and loyal to the mandate that he's been awarded by the country. And what you have is this pushback from people who have been there forever, who still think that they get to run the show. So we'll see.
Yeah, the machine is working as intended and needs to be replaced. I'm glad you say that, Pyre, because I thought I was alone on that. His first term, once the people who backed him got what they wanted, they threw his ass under the bus. Now he's going about this in a very much smarter way as president-elect, not after the fact.
Yeah, it sounds like you read Article 2 of the Constitution. But we've got to get rid of this Clayton guy. He shouldn't even be on the list. There should be no reason for him to be on the list.
I'm glad Hester Pierce isn't on it. That's a start.
That's Yucca's wife, girlfriend. So yeah, Don't be mean.
Must be the glasses.
Boy, she's a You would think someone in that type of a position could actually answer questions and speak, but she is literally a block.
Well, that's isn't that what it means to be like, in a position of power, regardless of his politics or hedge funds or everything? Your ability is not the ability to talk. Your selling point is not the ability to talk. Your selling point is the ability to say a whole bunch of stuff and still say nothing at the same time.
Right. What are we getting here, Yucca?
Wait a second. Don't you guys though think between Elon Musk and his friendship with the overstock guy that these guys would be saying, "Hey, Donald, yeah, you need to pick this person and not
I
that."
guess.
I got
Yeah,
2
you're
hits.
right. I guess what's actually they're actually trying. Patrick Byrne, who is from Overstock, is actually trying to get Devin Nunes, the CEO of Truth Social, to be the SEC chair.
I'd actually be for that.
I would definitely be for that. That would be.
I mean, so yeah, I mean, unless he's just entertaining him, or at the moment to make him think something. But I mean, as far as Clayton goes, I'm not sure why he'd even throw that name in there.
Wow.
How are you doing?
That's just the list we're seeing right now. But keep in mind, only one
How
person
you
is going
doing?
to get that position. It's a 5-way tie
How are
right
you
now.
doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. How you doing?
Who's playing around with
How are you
ASMR?
doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing? Oh yeah.
Oh,
Censored content.
I slapped that.
How are you doing?
Wait, is that? I'm gonna have to. Is that whose
It's
music is
censored
that?
content doing censored content stuff.
Whose music is that? I can't do music in here censored. I have to mute you if you're gonna do music.
Fuck her right in the pussy.
I have to mute him.
Fuck her right in the pussy.
How are you doing overall?
Okay,
He's just spamming.
Go for that.
Fuck her right in the pussy.
Awkward.
Yeah.
Emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
Yeah. Yo, all I'm gonna say is go back to 2020, man, and review history. Yes, I do.
Yeah, censored.
Well, that's one of them things I'm getting hit on for Nat Turner. It's only a single line, so I don't know if you want to listen or take it as a grain of salt. In November 2020, it was announced that the Collectors Universe would be taken private in a $700 million all-cash-in buyout by hedge fund manager Stephen Cohen, D1 Capital Partners, and collector Nat Turner in the first quarter of 2021. Only hit I got right now. There's a more detailed hit about it, but it's essentially the same thing. About the relationship between Stephen Cohen and Nat Turner. So, they're obviously in cahoots with each other. Does it really matter at this point?
Is that Ryan's dad? Steven?
Is it? I don't know. I
No,
don't know about
no.
it. I don't know about his
No.
family history. I don't care about his business history.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Why do all these hedge fund people like to conduct all these frequent circle jerks? I think they like to do those a lot. Not sure why.
Well, if you could get a billionaire banker to give you a hand job, wouldn't you be into it too?
I don't know. It's a lot of, I don't know. It's just the same recycling.
And it's a free one, by the way. You didn't even have to pay for it.
Nah.
Those trans Americans might want that, but yeah, no, the rest of us don't.
Yeah, no. I think.
Well, you see, for the last 4 years, people have been putting out there, Ken Griffin can suck my D, and then all of a sudden, Ken Griffin comes in to suck their D. Are they gonna pull it out? Are they gonna shy away? Chips are on the table. Make your call.
Probably knock
I'm
his
so
teeth
lost.
out first.
I am way too tired to even follow this line of thought. I don't even. What are we talking about? How did we get to this?
We're talking
How did we
about
get
too many
here?
people. That
Ask
you
Food
see
Dog.
So this Nat person that we're talking about here is going to be with GameStop.
Yes, Nat Turner will be in the board of directors of GameStop.
Take a food nap.
I did see that he's not getting paid. It's a free position. I mean, he's donating his time.
Donating his time.
Nobody just donates their time. They're getting something else out of it. It's not now, it's later in the future.
Better trading.
Yeah.
I'll take a food nap.
Our Roaring Kitty's feeding him a little bit of information that he wants to admit to what he has. Which, by the way, Casey, how are we looking on the emoji pattern?
Yeah, so we're kind of like in a lull period right now where I think we're going to see some kind of downwards momentum in price for probably about it could be until about maybe the 26th of November.
Oh.
It could be a little bit sooner than that.
26th of November.
It could be a little bit sooner than that, but maybe the 25th. But I wouldn't. Somewhere like the 25th or the 26th, I think I'm expecting to see some continued downwards momentum in price.
Well, I've got all week next week off for a vacation, so give me some time to wait
Like
and
I
see
said,
what happens.
I think Roaring Kitty was really clear about this being a repeat of 2020. So just all you got to do is go back to 2020 and look what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I posted
2020, the worst year.
Denied. I posted on Twitter that we cannot allow Clayton to return to the SEC, and at least a Canadian liked some Canadian named Peter Hahn liked my post. So, the Canadians are smart.
That's good. Peter Hahn, yeah. I'm seeing a post here from Nat on May 13th, 2024. May 13th. What a great day. Nat Turner says every hedge fund with a short position should probably sit on the sideline for a bit. That was a nice post, and it was actually Nat Turner quoting Roaring Kitty on the 13th. How you doing? It looks
Roaring
like
Kitty also used the word pouncing back in 2021 in one of his tweets. So maybe we pounce finally.
Maybe. It'd be nice.
And we've already pounced once before. What's another pounce?
I mean, maybe it's just a pounce, like a long-term pounce. Or maybe it's like yucca. He just punts.
Ooh.
Oh. He's got a mouthful of onion rings and chocolate shake right now.
Speaking of pounce, my Cal and I, our weekly picks, he destroyed me this week. We only had 3 differences in games, and he won all 3. So he is now beating me 5 weeks to 4, and he's got the lead now.
You have a cat.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a cat. You can't use that.
Oh. Sorry.
He's
Doesn't
whooping up
Casey
on me
have
good.
like a threat?
Do I have what?
Do you still don't you have a stray cat?
No. Winky?
That's gone?
Yeah,
Winky,
I don't know.
yeah.
I haven't seen Winky in forever. Don't know what happened to Winky. He was there, and then he was, in a blink of an eye, he was gone.
I was about to say, where's the pun? There it is.
You didn't give Winky the pinky. He's just not happy now. Damn it.
Got some Taco Bell, some Mountain Dew.
He just wanted me for my tuna.
Got canceled faster than Mr. Hanky.
Damn it.
Fish. Tuna fish.
Yes.
Yeah,
You can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish.
No, but I can fish a piano.
Can you?
I don't know.
I would imagine you just chilling on the bank, reeling in a wide-toothed German piano with a little ugly stick.
Why not?
Why not? Anything's possible at this point, right?
You're a pianist.
Ooh. Bitcoin ETF options go live tomorrow.
Ooh.
There you go, Yucca.
Do they now? Let me take a look at this.
Hold
Every
Hold
time
says-
I see Bitcoin reach an all-time high,
Denied.
and my parents or someone I know tells me, "Hey man, Bitcoin's at an all-time high," I'm like, "Yeah, thanks for reminding me of the 173 coins I was denied."
Hold says, hopefully we get a Gladiator Wicked rip. So I don't know. Have you guys been seeing what Wicked has been doing to opening? Like, people are lining up outside of movie theaters apparently already. When does that open?
I'm surprised because there's been a
Black
lot of
Friday, huh?
controversy about it.
Ooh, they all think it's a porn. That's why.
They
Well,
think it's a porn.
because that whole
all think
Ben, oh, was it Hasbro?
What? What is this about? What are you guys talking? Why is it what?
Yeah, so the people who made the figurines, the doll figurines for Wicked, it's in stores right now. There's a QR code that links you to a porn site.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Until your 6-year-old kid is scanning the QR code, wondering why it's taking you to this XXX website asking for age verification.
I'm looking up.
Yeah, I don't know that that's going to have a big effect. That's pretty old news. That's been out for like 3 weeks. 3 weeks
been out
now.
for
They pulled all that from the
Yeah.
shelves, and it made a little kerfuffle for a while. But
Whether it's still talked about or not, it's still continue to be clowned upon.
Listen to Pirate. Come on.
Based on this last few minutes, did my research on Nat Turner. Seems like a good guy. I'd say give this guy a shot. He seems pretty legit. So good. I'd say good things are coming.
Oh, ignore it.
November 20th is when Wicked opens, so people are lining up for this already, like around blocks, waiting to get into this show.
They're going to be out there for 2 days?
3, because I saw this news like a day or two ago.
3?
Yeah. Everybody's like lining up like to hang out like for days in advance. Dude, this could be easily the #1 movie of the year. I'm telling you, I've been to the Wicked, one of the original Wicked showings, like when they traveled the U.S. And the fan base is like just they are very interesting.
Yeah, I saw Wicked on Broadway in New York City. So if it keeps up to that hype, I can believe it. It will be the movie of the year.
I agree with you.
Thanks a lot, Pro Driller. Jeez.
Especially since there's no Marvel movies to stand against it other than Deadpool and Wolverine.
If this movie is anywhere close to as good as the play, I'm pretty sure this movie is gonna just. I mean, the fans are gonna go like 8 times.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so Ruby Duty,
fresh and Duty.
yes, WTF. Aren't there seats reserved for a theater showing of Wicked? Yes, but also no. In case you weren't around whenever they were releasing the Taylor Swift Eras tour, people were not only taking seats that weren't theirs, but they were standing in the aisles watching the Eras tour. So they're probably staying in line to not only reserve their seats, but to sit in the reserved seats until the movie starts to make sure no one else comes around behind them and take them. So if people are lining up 3 days in advance, holy shit.
Pro Jeweler says Mrs. Pro is going with or without me to Wicked. I bet she is. I'm telling you, the fans love it. They eat it up like it's just chocolate candy.
And yes, Ruby, it is nuts, but that is what a fandom is.
Yep. I venture to say that the fans for Wicked are more fanatical than UT and U of O Duck fans together combined. And that's
bold.
That says something. UT, if you know what a UT fan's like, or if you know what a U of O Duck fan is like, then you know. Because those fans go out and they wait in tailgating parties for like 24 hours before the games even open.
Things like that's probably like on the cusp of when what was it? I forget which team was playing LSU here. It was years ago. But so anyways, we won and people rioted the streets and ate horse shits. They weren't rioting the streets and eating horse shit because they lost. They did it because they won.
Ate horse shit? Is that what you said?
Yes. So here in New Orleans, we have horseback cops.
Yeah,
cops on horseback and everything, and they patrol the area around the dome and the streets and everything. Everybody was in the bars on Bourbon Street watching the game. LSU won, and then all the people just took to the streets and started just making absolute havoc to the point where they followed the police horsemen and began to eat their shit.
And that's it, guys. That's all I got for tonight. Hope you guys has fun getting together again. I will see you guys all later.
Draw the line at eating horse shit. Yeah.
Yep. We can't go any further. We are done.
That was disgusting. That was bad.
We have hit the border.
We found the line.
We found the line. Fling poo and eating crayons. We got there. One way or the other.
What?
All right.
What the hell are you talking about?
I'm heading
lost.
out. I'm heading out.
No, I'm talking about like the how crazy a fan how crazy fans can be. That's how crazy fans can be.
Yucca. He's clearly either making this shit up. He's either making this shit up or he's read it on the internet. I assure you, all of the people from the game weren't going around eating horse shit.
I guarantee you, it was nasty.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
That's the line, huh?
Yeah,
that's the line, Nana. Yeah, it is gross. It is gross.
We'll mark
Sticking
that
a
down.
fork in it.
Never mind. I'm not going to say a word. I'm not going to say a word.
How dare you?
All right, guys.
No, fans can be crazy.
Yep.
Fans can be crazy.
I hear you. They're so crazy. Pro Jeweler had to step in here for a minute just to say how crazy they are. Pro Jeweler, final words.
Hey, bro.
How?
Oh, his mic's muted.
Yeah. He's having technical problems with his microphone.
Magic Mike.
Well, he's Pro Jeweler, not Pro Mike.
Not Pro Mike.
Not Pro
Mike
IT.
either.
One can assume that he's probably eating shit right now since
One could assume he could be a fan.
Maybe he did. Maybe he did rush over here to talk about eating horse poo. It is possible. I mean, we did talk about it.
Well, are you sure? Because
and there he's gone.
There he goes.
All right, guys. It's been real. See you guys tomorrow night.
Richard's like, if this barbecue saw it, I'm in. Oh no. Oh, what have I done?
I'll see you guys later.
Okay. All right, later.
Later.
Take care. Well, as usual, guys, all good things must eventually come to an end. Eat, sleep, drink, get plenty of rest. Tomorrow's another trading day. Spend time with your family, spend time with your friends. Take your pets out for a walk because they like getting outdoors too, and for crying out loud, go see an AMC movie because after all, that's what we're here to do, is help support AMC. But above all else, don't have a good night. Have a great night.
Jerry, hi ho. Schwab at that deck, get off my neck. Content strike and got me a check. Rope a dope soap, hi ho. Jerry, why so mad? Ain't got no money, ain't got no honey, just really plain sad. Jerry, are you okay? Are you okay, Jerry? Ooh, touchdown, had to let you go. Over leverage with compliance and shame. Touch yourself, cause you got no game. Let's say, why are you so mad? Oh, hi ho. Jerry, why so mad? Ain't got no money, ain't got no honey, just really plain sad. Jerry, are you okay? Are you okay, Jerry? Ooh, touchdown, had to let you go. Over leverage with compliance and shame. Touch yourself, cause you got no game. Let's say, why are you so mad? Oh, hi ho. Jerry, why so mad? Ain't got no money, ain't got no honey, just really plain sad. Jerry, are you okay? Are you okay, Jerry?